Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game Over Winnipeg. My name is Brady. I will be one of your hosts here tonight. I am joined by my good friend Kishore Hari. After the Winnipeg Jets win 5-1, taking the top place in the Central once again. We're here I'm back here to talk again about another fantastic win, and I'm joined by one of my favorite people to talk Jets with, Kishore. How you doing after a big win like that?
I'm pretty sure, Brady, what we should do is just sit silently and just smile for 30 minutes. And because we don't have to say anything, because everything that needed to be said was said on the ice tonight. Thank you for inviting me to the best win of the season, the most complete Jets game of the season. We were saying that after the Avs game last week. Oh, we didn't even know what a complete game looks like. All the people were saying measuring stick, measuring stick, measuring stick. We broke the measuring stick over our thigh and whipped it at Brad Marchand's face tonight. That's what it was.
Oh man, I love the way you put it. And I mean, hey, again, I'm glad that you brought up the fact that we've had best wins of the season, however many games it's been now. Like not necessarily in a row, of course. The Jets will drop one here and there or win a game that isn't as impressive. But when it comes to these good teams, when it comes to the Avalanche, when it comes to the Boston freaking Bruins, top in the Atlantic, a perennial Stanley Cup favorite. The Winnipeg Jets imposed their will tonight. Like I'm glad that you mentioned best win of the season, because in my opinion, like this was as close to a 60-minute effort as you can maybe get. There was maybe some blips at the start of the second period, maybe near the end of the third, just letting off the gas. But I think the Jets mostly held onto the gas the entire time. What a complete win! Like I am floored by this game, truly.
Yeah, there are a few things I want to bring up, and let's start with the first period. Let's go chronologically through. I was struck by how Winnipeg's been very no event to slow event the last, I don't know, 10 games. We've seen a lot of 0-0 after the first. Winnipeg kind of has a slow start, feels people out, and then really hits the ground running in the second. That wasn't the way tonight. They came out and they put a ton of pressure on them right away. Some of the fastest I've seen Winnipeg play out the gate. And Swayman had to be awesome to keep the Bruins in it in the first, I thought. Especially that first 10 to 12 minutes. And there was something I saw in that first period that I was like, this is a different team. And it was Marchand got out in space, entering the zone. Scheifele took the angle, hip checked him into the boards.
Yep.
Full 200-foot Mark Scheifele game. And just eliminated Marchand in the zone and didn't make a big deal of it. The puck just kind of dribbled off the side. Defenseman picked it up, zone exit. It was quintessential Winnipeg Jets have changed kind of moment. Because we're seeing that level of back checking, and that was so endemic in the first. Back checking, zone exit, speed through the neutral zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's like it wasn't just that the Jets were throttling the Bruins in the sense of they were controlling pressure in the opposing zone. The Jets lost the puck not a crazy amount or anything like that, but they lost the puck as much as any other team would playing against the Boston Bruins. But the efforts that they had getting back to the defensive zone, I found that this was such an endemic game of the team buy-in. Because going into that third period, we're all thinking the same thing. Connor Hellebuyck's getting real close to getting a nice little goose egg on the board at the end of the game. But this is I think the second time I've come on here and said I was ready to come here and say that this wasn't a Connor Hellebuyck shutout, but a team shutout, because not only do you have, again, you mentioned Mark Scheifele, you got buy-in at the top end level, a notable guy on the on the third line, the shutdown but also grinding line, like Nino Niederreiter. The amount of times that he was back checking tonight, taking out Pasternak was the one specific one I can think of off the top of my head. Everyone on this team it just feels like this team is fully bought in like that. I can't even imagine what's going through Rick Bowness's head right now, as you know, well, not necessarily right now, but as he entered the locker room right after the game. Boy, I cannot wait to see the jacket video, to see what the boys are like in the room after a game like this, because just a phenomenal effort from everyone.
Yeah. So with all qualifications, not here to jinx us in any way. Did you get any like 17, 18 vibes tonight when like wave after wave after wave started coming? Because it wasn't just the top line. I'm about to give the top line a lot of kudos,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't just them. It was they kept coming. The zone pressure, line change, next line came in,
Mm-hmm.
kept possession going. We kept seeing it throughout the night until like the third, and you know, except that first 5 minutes of the second period and late in the third when the game was put away, they just kept doing it and they just wore them out.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like the Bruins could really do much here, and like yeah, like from the top to bottom, like it's gonna. You mentioned this even before we got on. We were having a little chat before we started the show here, and it's gonna be damn hard to take Axel Jonsson Fjallby out of the lineup. I know we see Rasmus Kupari in the no contact jersey right now. In my opinion, rest and get well, buddy. Like it's really difficult to touch anyone in this lineup, and you know. Yeah,
you can't touch anyone.
No, you can't.
You can't touch anyone. And like in my mind, I feel like there's moves they can make that will raise the ceiling of this team, and you just can't touch it. They're just too hot right now. They're playing with such confidence and team awareness. They're playing like a team. Like all these passes they're making are so confident, and no line epitomizes that better than the top line. And I just want to talk about that Gabe Vilardi goal where Scheifele makes a super confident cut across the grain, takes two Bruins with him. Like that is a confident move that he makes across the grain. Quick pass to Ehlers in the corner. Ehlers is not in a dangerous spot. He's against the wall, but he does what Nick Ehlers does. He makes a super confident, quick decision. Bang, right at the net. And Gabe Vilardi happens to be in the right place at the right time because he's Gabe Vilardi Hart candidate right now.
I mean,
and
yeah.
just like and bangs one home. And it was that move where Scheif cuts across the middle, though. That's not a Mark Scheifele we saw last year. It's how much he's in sync with that line.
He's confident. That line is so confident right now. And you didn't even mention the second game in a row where Nick Ehlers has a nice little play with his feet in order to to get a goal, right? But yeah,
Mbappe, look out! Here comes Nick Ehlers.
Exactly. But like exactly like and this line seems to be just so in sync with each other. Like. A thing that we would always criticize with other iterations of the top line is that sometimes they like to play the as Sean Reynolds has coined the snake charmer offense. This line can do that. Like they don't need to, but when they get that cycle going, like they don't. There are times where I'm sitting there going, Scheifele could have shot this here, Ehlers could have shot this here, just get the puck on net, but they don't need to because they're so confident with it. And you know what? Like that kind of leads me to another player I wanted to talk about, and maybe we'll lead it to another guy that you wanted to. But I thought that, Josh Morrissey had a phenomenal night tonight. And I think that he is super duper key to that top line feeling so confident. I know he's not out there all the time with them, but that line always knows that they have an outlet pass to the D-man. And that you don't need to worry about the D-man just throwing a dumb shot on net that is just going to end all the momentum that you have rolling up, all the pressure. And you're confident that it's not going to end up in any sort of, crazy foot race back to your own net. But man, like Josh Morrissey, in my opinion, was a key member of getting this game to a point where because where I wouldn't even say that the Bruins necessarily were bad tonight. It seemed like they were just frustrated because the Jets were all over them, and that all starts in the first period. I mean, hey, the goal or not goal immediately to start the game, regardless of if that gets called in or not, that still kind of has to rattle you as a team, right? And then ending off the first period with with the goal, collecting the trash on again a first line goal where they're on the ice for it. He picks up the rebound and makes it known that one will stand. I thought that he had a great game tonight, both offensively, getting the Jets into this game and getting the Bruins frustrated early on, but also later on in the game. Like, I remember there was this one shift in the third period where Morrissey came out under Brad Marchand like twice and pickpocketed him as the Bruins are pushing and trying to get some offense going. He was a key member for me tonight, easily.
Yeah, I know it was late in the game, but Morrissey put a Bruin totally in the blender. Just totally faked him out in the line, like broke his ankles, full on, like posterized a Bruin. I don't even know which Bruin it was, but it shows like the level of confidence. I don't know which feed you're watching, but on the TSN broadcast, the non-goal that Morrissey kicks in, they showed a wide shot of him filling, and Ehlers is almost like a step or two behind him. And it's Nick Ehlers. Nick Ehlers is going to go right by him. But Morrissey just goes for it as Velarde and Scheifele are ahead of them entering the zone. And he fills the proper spot. And you can see Ehlers like filling in behind him, and Morrissey like staying, like taking a beat and staying back enough so that he can drop back immediately, because Ehlers is going to fill in if it doesn't come to him. But when it comes to him, he's like there, and he's pushing the defense back, and that's how he's in the right position to kick that in when the puck comes in front. And even though that didn't result in a goal, it just illustrates like the aggressiveness he's playing up front. And I think it speaks to kind of something that Jeff has kind of mentioned in the chat. They're grinding them to death. And like, there's a couple places where the first line is benefiting from people grinding them down. Like Dylan DeMello, zone exit master, did it again tonight, allows Morrissey to go up and just do whatever Morrissey wants to do up front. And then multiple times tonight, we saw the Lowry line go full Adam Lowry mode. And then Bonus sends out the top line right after them. And the Bruins are ground down. And now the top line's coming at them with speed. Forget about it. Like, that's why I mentioned the 17-18 thing, because it feels like it's coming in waves. And when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah. And that's it's something I'm I've already alluded to it before on this show, but it really feels like there's something special going on right now. It feels very different to last year, especially considering the way that the Jets are winning. And also, like, I think that it's a great point to mention the fact that even if lines aren't necessarily contributing specifically offensively, it's like that fourth line didn't score tonight, even though they have been scoring. But so many times, like, they are the catalyst to 2 to 3 minute pressure shifts in the offensive zone, where they just end up being the line who happens to break the puck out and get into the zone and start that cycle. And then the Jets are still able to somehow filter through the next line and even another line after that before losing the pressure. It's like it just comes in waves. It just comes in waves tonight. And it really feels like this team already at this moment currently is building towards something big. And we haven't even gotten to the part where you're adding, right?
Yeah. So this is a strained analogy, but this is how it occurs to me. They're the ceiling version of what the Seattle Kraken were last year. The Kraken last year were 4 second lines that just kept rolling at you constantly. And that's how they upset the Avs in the playoffs. They just, like, you would not get a break against them. Every line could score. Every line put pressure on them. And they had okay kind of goaltending. We're that team, except we have world-class goaltending. And our top line is actually a number one line. And then we have a bunch of second lines in behind them.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, that is nasty to play against, especially if the fourth line does what they're doing, which isn't just playing to a draw, but actually like driving some possession in the zone. If they start to get to like 15 minutes of ice time a night, just look out. Just look out. You just can't play against that. There is one thing I wanted to call out because the Bruins did push back in the second. And you saw them kind of like step up in the neutral zone. You could see the Jets kind of like slowed down. Their defense was kind of not moving their feet. Not to sound like 200 hockey men, but they were kind of stagnant. They like were stepping up on the blue line and kind of gumming up the neutral zone. And that led to some offensive possession. Pionk took that bad penalty. But anyways, as it goes on, we get that power play, one of the ugliest power plays in the middle of the second period that we've seen in a long time. But what I want to say is what happened next. Lowry's line comes on a shift later after that power play, completely changes the dynamic, delivers some hits, drives some possession, starts to like change the entire nature of things as the Bruins start to push. First line comes out right after that, bang. Like it completely changed the nature of the game.
Yeah.
That like couple minutes. And from that point, so the Bruins evened up the shot total at the 15-minute mark of the second period. It was 13-13. From the 15-minute mark of the second period to the 10-minute mark of the third, they had 2 shots.
2 shots.
In 25 minutes. At a time when they were down 3-0 and needed to push.
And like
that tells you everything about how bought in this team is.
Oh, absolutely. It goes to show how they stifled, because I don't know if it was, I didn't think it was just me, and clearly it wasn't, but it really didn't feel like the Bruins were doing anything all that crazy tonight. Like it just didn't. And there was never a moment, especially even in the first period when the Jets, had gotten out to a good shot lead, and then the Bruins get a couple. The Bruins didn't even get a quality chance until like 3 minutes left in the period, and that was the tip shot that Charlie Coyle had. And then again, it's the timing too. That's exactly what it is, and you hit it nail on the head. Yeah, nail on the head. Yeah. With how the Jets responded. I mean, you come out after after the intermission, you got the first goal, and immediately the Bruins push back, and just through playing your game, your style of play, Adam Lowry line specifically, gets this team back on track to how they were. And they didn't look back. They really didn't look back whatsoever.
Yeah, so I have 2 minor negatives, and these are the most minor things. So first of all, the play that led to the penalty shot, I want to intentionally in my mind think that like they actually passed that in front of the net knowing that a Bruin was going to have to catch that puck. I feel like that was a pass attempt, like more than it was like a
shot or anything.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, one of the most ridiculous, like most obvious penalty shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever. I'm glad they got it. It was. Yeah. they don't always get them, but that one was very, very obvious.
And Scheifele had him. He had Swayman on that move, just didn't elevate quite enough. He had him exactly where he wanted him, just couldn't roof it enough. That would have put away the game. The only negative I have is I think the fans are at fault for losing the shutout to Connor Hellebuyck.
I was going to ask you.
I just want to say, we should not ever do the wave at a hockey game, because the next shift after the wave, we got a goal. I just want to, on behalf of the Jets fan base, apologize to Connor Hellebuyck for doing the wave and ruining his shutout. That is my negative. We should know better.
We really should. And somewhere, Hustler, one of the guys from Winnipeg Sports Talk, is I'm sure he's losing his mind. He was losing his mind on Twitter. I wonder if he was at the game. He's at a lot of them. So, Very, very funny. I wanted to ask you a question really quickly, a little bit unrelated, but do you think that the Jets should be allowed to decline the penalty shot and just take it as a power play?
So I've always 100%. So first of all, no, I think you should get the penalty shot, and then if you don't score, you get the power play. I think it should be both, because the penalty shot is meant to be. It's you've done something so egregious that they're giving you something that gives you, in the olden days, like a greater than 50% chance of scoring. But modern goalies are good, so now you have like something closer to like 20 to 30% chance to score. So why not give you the penalty shot? If you score, great, you have a goal. Goodbye, see you later. But if you don't score, you get the power play anyways. I think that's what changes the nature of things.
I'm pretty sure if Scheifele scores there too, I'm pretty sure they get a full power play after. I may be wrong on that. Just because it was on. I feel like. I don't know.
What rule book are you?
Well, no. Because think about this. If it was in fact a penalty, just not a penalty shot, and the Jets go on to score during their 5-on-3, while both penalties are still active, the first one is the one that goes away. I'm pretty sure, actually. I will verify and make sure.
I see what you're saying, because I forgot that there was a power play
because they were on the
when that happened. Yeah. I forgot forgot that. Yeah. Okay. So
if they scored, they would have gotten the full 2 minutes. But I guess that's just not the way it goes, which is weird, because then you'd be getting rewarded with an extra power play for scoring.
Yeah,
but not.
I still think they should change that rule. Like, I think the penalty shot should be, because they've done something so bad. Like, your penalty shots come when you throw the stick or somebody's gloving the puck when it's about to go in, blah, blah, blah. Right. So, like, I think that should be like a more strict penalty. You shouldn't be asking me this question, because I'm team every penalty should be a major kind of situation. I think they should just full on, like, give you the 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, I think that would be a good, good change. Although I don't think it would benefit the Jets a whole lot, because their power play, at least their PP1, has been kind of dookie. I mean, it's not to change subjects on you. I mean, I'll let you finish off what you had, but
no. I think it's the only point of concern, and I have to say what we saw at a power play 2 tonight, which obviously got the goal in kind of a chaotic period. They're the ones that are actually moving actually look like they're putting a lot of effort on the power play. The power play one just feels stagnant right now. And I've heard all of the suggestions on how to tweak this. Put Scheifele on the bumper, put Perfetti on the wall, all the things, and everyone is correct, and they have to play out of it. They just have to just work at it until they break out of it. It is the biggest concern for this team is their power play.
I just think they're overthinking it. With the first power, I truly do, because tonight I'm not even gonna harp on PP1 for what happened tonight, other than IFL losing the puck on right off the draw, but it is what it is. It happens. The thing that really doesn't make any sense is you are essentially playing with your top line and an extra forward. That's all it is. And I don't know why they have such obsession with getting in their specific structure. Because honestly, as much as we talk about, we need Scheifele here, we need this guy here, we need this guy here. That's in an ideal world when it's set up, in quotes. But tonight, for example, there was a moment where the guys were in the spots that we wanted, and they had the wherewithal to have the movement and get moving until they get into their spots. And I don't understand how we have literally one of the best lines in hockey right now playing for us, but the second that they take away Dylan DeMello from Josh Morrissey's partnership, that it all falls apart, whether it's Alex Iafallo or Cole Perfetti or whoever. I just don't understand why that line needs to start thinking and playing differently, because very clearly their 5-on-5 play has been like lights out. So just keep playing the way you have been. I don't get how this is happening so much. How this is still a conversation.
I feel like they should put up like that whiteboard where they like diagram stuff for the power play and just erase it and be like, "Go nuts" is what they should just write on
play
it.
hockey.
Just be like, because we all know how this should work. Like Scheifele has an incredible shot. He should be playing in front. Velarde is incredible down low right now.
Incredible.
Ehlers is a zone entry machine. Morrissey is great at keeping the puck in and getting shots through from the point. Then you just put any human body that can pass the puck on the as the fifth person, and you're like, you should be golden. And that's why I'm kind of like, they should just be like, stop thinking about it. I totally agree with you. Just go play. Don't worry about it. Just go play.
Yeah.
You can feel them thinking about it. I would say like the only other Jet I have a most minor concern about is I feel like Alex Iafallo is holding the stick a little tight. I think we saw it a couple times tonight. I think he's trying a little bit more than what he is. Like, we know who Alex Iafallo is. We've seen him for years on the Kings. He's an exceptional third line player that just causes chaos. Just be that guy.
Yeah.
That's all they need. I think he's trying to be more than that right now. I think he's the only Jet that I'm like, that needs like the little sit down and be like, just chill out, dude.
Take a break.
Be Alex Iafallo. You'll be awesome. I know Jeff mentioned in the chat about starting the second unit next game. Don't mess around. They're the best players in your team. You put them out there on PP1. I don't think you go, it's not that dire. They need to play their way out of this. And they're clearly playing the best hockey in the league as a group. Like, you just trust them to kind of work it out. You just like uncoach them. You just like, go have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, hey, you can start the second unit once you have started the first unit on, Sure. It's fine to do that later on in the game, but yeah. And first of all, like before we continue on here, guys, we got 40 plus people in here right now. We really appreciate you guys spending your time with us. Make sure you guys do like the stream. We got Kishore with us here. He's always one of our favorites to chat hockey with. Sorry.
I mean, we even have Liz in the chat going all caps on us right now because of how excited she is. Let's talk about the road ahead, because
perfect.
This is a big game. The next 10, we got Chicago twice, we got Minnesota twice, we got Anaheim. We have a bunch of people that are not above NHL 500, which is not hard to get to. The Jets have their recent history is, we play up to our competition. We also play down to our competition, as evidenced by that San Jose game next week. If you're Rick Bowness, Brady, this is quite the character change I'm asking for you. What's your message to the team over the next 10? Because you have a stretch of games here that are eminently, incredibly winnable, and you're the hottest team in the NHL right now.
All right, so am I supposed to? I'm walking into the room right before the Chicago game. And I'm giving my pregame speech. All right, boys,
let's hear it.
Boys, what you guys have done over the past 2 months, past 3 months even, has been phenomenal. You guys have been playing some of the best hockey I've ever seen in my entire life, and you guys are doing it each and every single night, consistently playing for each other. You guys are going in there battling for one another. We have done this. We have taken down some of the best teams in the league. Your Colorados, your Boston Bruins, etc. I'm not that good at thinking on the spot. And now we really have a run of games here where we can make it known. We've got the media in the States starting to look at us, starting to realize what a team we are, what a wagon we are. Boys, let's go out there while everyone's watching Mr. Connor Bedard. Let them know who the real hockey players are out there, boys. Go out there and play your game.
So a couple friendly amendments. First of all, when you said I have been hockey for a long time. He should have said something like, I have been in hockey since Gump Worsley was a rookie. Like something that
Yeah.
emphasizes how
Since
old Rick Bowness is.
I played for and coached the original Winnipeg Jets.
And then the second thing is, and I agree with Chad, I think he should just point to a screen after his speech is over and just have saxophone Squirtle going.
Yes.
Just
saxophone Squirtle is going great.
Shout out to Nick Lyman, who has gotten Dmitry Filipovich on the saxophone Squirtle train.
Yeah.
So much so that Dmitry has called out Jets Twitter for how amazing that GIF is. I think you have to play up the angle, like the teams we're playing against don't even know where Winnipeg is. Like I think you have to go a little like world against us vibe right now.
I completely agree.
Because what's happening now, people are going to start paying attention to Winnipeg all of a sudden. And when you're kind of a front runner, people are going to start gunning for you. And I think the us against the world mentality is going to help them a lot against these bottom feeders, where they just go out there and do their work, like take care of San Jose, take care of Anaheim, take care of Chicago twice, take care of Minnesota twice. You bank those points, you're too far up on competition behind for them to make up ground on you. And just ride the hot streak. You have the best line in hockey. I hope there's no Oilers fans in the chat. I don't want to even hear about Nuge and Zach Hyman and that Connor guy. Because right now, 7 goals in 7 games from our boy Gabe. They're the hottest line in hockey, and they have the goaltending and the lines behind them to back it up.
I could not have said it any better myself. And I'm just going to put this out there as we are going to be wrapping up really soon. If you guys have any questions, do throw them in the chat for myself or Kishore, of course, specifically, preferably Kishore. But, but I mean, that's it. Like the Jets really have all the pieces here to make a good run at it. I liked your comparison earlier to the 17-18. You've got a fourth line of some young guys and some guys who can play hard-nosed hockey. You've got your third line that's going to go in there and grind it out. The defense, I remember seeing a comparison on Twitter. I want to say it was Garrett Hole who was making the comparison to how the D core kind of stacks up a little similarly to the 17-18. I mean, obviously we're missing a certain number 33 or anyone who could fill that spot, but but this team is looking really, really, really good. While I check here and see if there is any questions, I know that you wanted to give a little amendment to a certain number 4 on the ice.
Longtime Jets fans know that I have not been the kindest person to Neil Pionk unless he is playing one Connor McDavid. Against Connor McDavid, Neil Pionk is a Norris level defenseman, but outside of that, I have been very critical of Neil Pionk. I wasn't a fan of that contract when it signed. I just want to say how incredible the Pionk-Dillon combination has been.
Absolutely.
They are playing exactly like you want a second pair to do. Pionk is driving play. He's taking the body. He's letting Dillon do some nasty things to people in behind the play. And like the puck is just getting out when they're on the ice. I'm like, you just can't ask for anything more from a 3 and 4. He's really playing like a number 2 right now. And I honestly thought I wouldn't see that again, given the kind of stagnation we saw from Neil Pionk. I think like how he was breaking up passes tonight, like the confidence he's playing with, he's playing physically against like he oftentimes is matched up against Pasta tonight. Absolutely. You can't draw like a tougher assignment in the league. Like what do you want?
There was one specific one where I took note. I'm trying to find it in my notes here, where Pionk just completely held up someone going to the net and completely stopped a goal. I think it was on one of the power plays that the Bruins had, but regardless.
Yeah, they had an empty net and Pionk just totally just like cleared it out in front. Like, yeah.
All right. Just before we do head out here, just looking at the chat here, we do have Jeff. Jeff is agreeing with you, saying the Pionk Dylan combo definitely proved him wrong. As far as questions go, got a couple of things kind of mentioning on the same thing. We got Lucas saying the team is playing so well. I don't know if the Jets should trade for anyone. They all seem so comfortable together. And then John Chan also saying if we need to add a top right-hand shot D-man, who would be a good fit here. Curious if you have any interesting takes on that, or if it's
I totally agree. Like, if you really start to break down the numbers, I think right now you got to ride the hot team. You can't think about messing with anything. But for defense, I wouldn't really mess around with a trade right now. Obviously, if you can get like an actual number one or number two out there on the market, I don't know who's going to be available. It's still too early. The only name that I've heard that strikes me as remotely interesting is Rasmus Anderson. If Calgary falls out, because he is awesome. I think he's awesome in all facets. I think it would cost way too much to get him. He has term. All of these things are great. I kind of expect Edmonton to pass Calgary in the coming weeks, and maybe Calgary starts selling off assets, and maybe a Rasmus Anderson doesn't cost much, but they're going to be looking to unload Tanev first before they even consider Rasmus Anderson.
I was not expecting you to say Anderson.
I'm not less interested in Noah Hannafin. But like, I really wouldn't mess around. I still think, even though Nate Schmidt has been on a heater and has looked great with Dylan Sandberg, I still think long-term there is going to be a role for Billy in this team. And I think that's the change you make on D. I know Billy's not a right-hand shot, but like, I think that's
he plays right side.
Tweak. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's the tweak you make, and you just keep playing this kind of system level game that you have going on. I think the more interesting question is really up front, because when Connor comes back, knock on wood, everyone is still healthy. You are in a really interesting situation with what your second line is going. You can't touch your first line. You just can't.
You can't.
Just don't even bother talking about it. Who's going to distribute to Connor? Who are you going to put as the complementary third piece on that team, on that line? I really think they should be looking at elevating Nino to that second line.
I completely agree.
Perfetti at center, Connor on the wing. Just have like a physical presence, and go for it. Look at 2C on the market. Like, if you can get Elias Lindholm full cheap, great.
Or Buchnevich.
No problem. I've got it sold on Buchnevich, but like, I get it. I get why we're talking about him.
Yeah, for sure. And I would even agree at this moment we should probably it's about time we give Nino a look on that second line and see what also I think IFL's game fits a little bit better for that third line. But regardless, it's a great time to be a Jets fan. Again, first in the Central right now. One final question from the chat, which I'm just gonna answer immediately. It's from Darth Canadian 007. Is the whiteout bad luck now? Should we keep doing it? Absolutely.
No, the only thing that's bad luck right now is the wave. That's what we should be worried about right now.
Thank you, Kishore.
Let's get rid of the wave, and hell yeah, Stonewall Dave, I have a Hobby Bulin thing in behind me. Damn right, I have a Bulin wall in behind me. I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone, because the Jets just gave us the best present that anyone could ask for. Now they have to act like a grown-up team and take care of the bottom dwellers. Because if we do, start saying goodbye to a bunch of teams that are chasing us, because they'll separate in a big way.
Exactly. And
I haven't been this hyped about a Jets team in about 5 years.
It's been a minute, and we like to be very cautious with it, but I think right now there is reason to be a believer in Jetsland. Things are looking great, and hey, you hit the nail on the head there. Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you guys all have a happy holidays. And you know what? That's gonna do it for us here. Liz will be back with you guys after Christmas on the 27th when the Jets face off against the bottom dweller Blackhawks. PU, as Kishore said, specifically those words. But regardless, thank you all for spending your time with us here tonight. Please do enjoy your holiday season. Stay safe, and have yourselves a wonderful evening. Thank you all for tuning in.
Go Jets, go!
Go Jets, go! Peace.